we're talking about the alternative ways to invest, right? Investing is a
Hmm.
big thing right now. If you want to build your money faster, you have got to invest. You cannot just save it and expect to be a millionaire. There's relative risk, but you have got to invest. Whether it's the stock market, whether it's real estate, whether it's business, investing is the way to go, even to diversify your money. And a lot of people, they're getting out of the stock market because it's so volatile. I still love the stock market. When it's volatile, everything's on sale as far as I'm concerned. That's another episode. But a lot of people are getting into real estate investing. And with the real estate investing, you have your buy and flip, you have your buy and hold, you have several different things. But today we're going to talk about making money through mobile home investing. Have you heard about that before? I never even
Mobile home
thought about
investing.
it. Never even thought about
Not
it.
mobile home. No.
Not mobile homes, right? So
Right.
I just thought that was really brilliant because I never thought to invest in mobile homes. And in the financial arena where I am, it's looked down upon a little bit because it's considered a depreciating asset, like a car, right? Because it's not on where do you go? It's not on necessarily, the ground or in the earth or whatever. But it is a great way to make money. And we have an amazing guest today. Her name is Rachel Hernandez. I call her the mobile home investing queen. She is the know it all for this. And so we want to invite her to the show. Hello, Rachel.
Hi. Hi. Thank you so much for having me on the show, Tara and Mark Kevin. I really appreciate it.
That's your new name,
Welcome.
Mark.
Welcome.
Mark Kevin.
Mark Kevin. I was
Mark
just
Kevin.
telling her a few years ago, people started calling me by my full government name, and I don't know why. They
Probably
just,
because you have it on your Facebook.
you know what? Maybe that's what it is.
That's what it
They
is.
do.
People call me Tara Madam Money Jackson all the time, and I'm like, why do you
Mhm.
all say that? Because it's my Facebook name. See,
Hmm.
Facebook got us all twisted. But thank you so much, Rachel, for coming
Yes.
on the show to talk about
Welcome.
mobile home investing. A lot of us are getting into real estate investing. We love real estate investing, learning about it, but no one's really talking about investing in mobile homes. And so I love that you are in this field to help educate us about it. But before we get too involved into talking about that, let's talk about you for a little bit. Tell us about you and how you got involved with mobile home investing.
Sure, no problem. Well, basically, I started actually in real estate investing at a very young age, pretty much right out of college. And I was actually a corporate account business executive for Fortune 500 corporations. And I first started investing in real estate by being a bird dog. So basically, a bird dog is someone who goes out and finds deals for other real estate investors. So I'd go to my local real estate investment club, try to find some investors who are looking for some properties and ask them what they wanted. And I'd find those types of properties for them. So I'd talk to the sellers and then bring deals to them. And then I'd get paid if they ended up closing on those deals. These were in single family homes primarily. From then, I wanted to build up more cash. So I actually got into wholesaling these single family homes. So basically, the difference between a bird dog and a wholesaler is a bird dog, you just kind of go out, meet people, say, oh, here's a deal, you want it or not, and then you have your buyers. As a wholesaler, you actually put the home under contract, like written, and then you basically assign your interest to your buyer. So basically, you're taking on more risk as a wholesaler. And I did that for a couple of years in single family homes. And then once I built enough cash for buy and hold properties, I went into single family homes and bought and held single family homes as a landlord. And then from there, I kind of got burnt out. I actually brought in property managers, but I still had to manage the managers when I had these single family homes. So I was at a point in my career where I was like, you know what? I got to just stop and see what else is out there. And mobile home investing came on my radar. And so basically, the rest is history. I sold my entire portfolio of single family homes, cashed out, use that cash to invest in mobile homes. That was in 2007, which is when I started investing in mobile homes. And it's 2022, and I've been investing in mobile homes ever since.
Great. So you have um, you have been doing mobile home investing for a long time, and now we're hitting 2023. And um, why do you feel that it's looked down upon in the real estate realm? And I think I talked about it a little bit, to do mobile home investing. You would think mobile home investing would be a good idea.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of the ideas shaped from, watching media, television, movies. That's one of the reasons why there is that negative stigma. If you think about the movie 8 Mile, Eminem starred in, he's a musician. Everyone thinks that is actually a mobile home. It's, they call, they think it's more of a low end type of clientele. And in reality, that's actually a trailer park. But just like single family homes, there's different types of neighborhoods when it comes to mobile homes. So you have your low end, you have your middle of the road, and then you have your high end type of communities. So you've got your 5-star, 3-star, and then 2 and 1-star types of communities. So there's a range, but unfortunately, it's looked down upon because of that negative stigma that people see in television, in the movies, thinking it's those type of people who live there, and that's the only type of clientele, more lower end. And honestly, the people who actually grew up in these mobile home communities, mobile home parks, these generations, they continue to live in those communities, continue to live in mobile homes. And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of real estate investors just kind of look down upon mobile homes. Also, the fact that they see it as a depreciating asset. There's a couple of different ways to buy mobile homes. The way that I do it is how Lonnie Scruggs, who was my mentor, he's considered the godfather of mobile home investing, bought these homes. I just bought these homes as personal property, not attached to land. The land is actually owned by the communities, the parks. And so they are owed lot rent by whoever's home is sitting on top of there. So basically, it's seen as personal property, which is the same as a car. And some investors, a lot of investors actually say, well, that's a depreciating asset. What if I want to go and sell it, 5, 10 years? It's going to depreciate in value. My answer to that is it's cash flowing in right now, and it may not. You don't know what you're going to be able to sell it in 5 or 10 years, because the market goes up, the market goes down. A couple months ago, I sold a home that I made cash on it. I made $40,000 of cash. And so you can't just say that it's a depreciating asset. And it was actually valued less by the tax appraiser than what I sold it for. So it's very subjective. So I will say there is definitely a negative stigma attached to mobile homes now, and it still continues. So
Mike, Kevin, Mark, you're Mark today. Sorry, you're Mark today. He's got his suit on, so he's Mark today. Mark, I'm gonna let you ask the question, but to me, that's like saying, well, I'm not going to do a rent-a-car business because the cars are depreciating items. Well, the object of that game is that you're getting revenue for people renting out the car, right? So to me, that in my mind, mobile homes are the same thing. Yeah, they may depreciate over time, but I'm still getting revenue for people living in those homes if I rent it out, or I can sell it as well. So I get that, it's generating revenue. So I like that. Mark, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was wondering, like, because when she was talking about trailer parks and mobile homes and things like that, like I honestly didn't know the difference. I'm thinking, mobile home is just a mobile home, but then you started naming the different levels of mobile homes and trailer parks and things like that. So what, on the low end, what could one of those mobile homes go for, and then what could they go for on the high end?
Right. And it honestly, it really depends on the area. But if you're thinking about low end, we call those trailer courts. And the history of mobile homes is actually they were for the wealthy in American history because the wealthy had the ability to buy these homes and transport them and move them across the country because they wanted to explore America. So it was actually for the wealthy. And it was just over time that stigma changed, but on the low end, if you want to think of what type of clientele is that movie 8 Mile, and they call them trailer courts. They're kind of like, they call them like kind of like the bullet mobile home. They're like, they could be silver. Those are built in the 1960s, I believe, and unfortunately those ones still have aluminum wiring, which was outlawed by the federal government because they are prone to fires. So those are very old, but they are still around in these trailer courts. So again, what something like that could go for depends on the market. But I have a mentor, and she's bought a mobile home for as low as $500. Those older ones, okay. Now on the higher end of the scale, the sky's the limit. I had a student who told me that I believe it was in California. There was a mobile home that went for, I think it was over $1 million. So, you're talking, West Coast, East Coast, middle of the road. It really depends on the market and the location
Where are
and
you
what
located?
I am in Texas. I'm in San Antonio, Central Texas.
Mm.
So here it is very mobile home friendly. There's a lot of manufacturers here as well too, and we're centrally located in the United States. So which
So
is
if
a
I
good
were to
thing.
get into or decide I want to get into mobile home investing, how would I start that? Or where would I look or where should I look or whatever?
Yeah, the first thing to do is kind of get educated and start reading some books on mobile home investing. And I have a podcast, Adventures in Mobile Homes, and I go over the top 10 mobile home investing books. So I would start educating yourself first. But once you have that education, you've read some books on mobile home investing, then the next step that you need to do is learn your market, figure out exactly where you want to invest and how far you want to go out from where you live. I do a 2 hour radius around where I live. I don't go farther out than that. There's more than enough business. And then from there, what I did when I first started out, I visited over 200 mobile home parks, and I kind of got to know the different types of parks, the low end, the middle of the road, the high end types of parks. And then I went in to talk to the park manager and talk to the park owner, because in order to do business in these parks, you need to get the okay and be on the same level by the person who owns it or manages it. So that's the next step, is to kind of get to know these parks and the park managers and owners to make sure they're okay that you can do business. And that's kind of more of an art than an exact science. So,
Mm. So you said you had a mentor, right?
yes.
So how did you get connected with your mentor?
Believe it or not, it was actually at a real estate conference. And it was funny because a lot of my past mentors have been men, just like Lonnie Scruggs. And she was a woman, and we just kind of connected. We both had the same background. We were both college educated. We both came from corporate America. So it was just a natural fit. And then she just kind of said, hey, listen, if you have any questions, let me know. We could do coffee. So we just started getting together, and then I watched some of her properties while she was on vacation. Then she watched some of my properties while we were on vacation. So it was just a kind of like a good relationship that I had. I just kind of fell into it, actually. So I'm an extrovert, so I tend to meet a lot of people when I'm at these conferences. So
Yeah, and I'm not. No one believes me, but I'm not.
I did not know that.
Nobody believes me. I'm an introvert with extrovert tendencies. Mark is an extrovert.
Ah,
I'm an introvert. I'm shy. I'm scared of
What?
people.
Whatever.
I like to stay indoors and everything.
He
See,
lies.
that's why a mobile home would be perfect for a person who is an introvert with extrovert tendencies, because you can go places and stay at home at the same time.
I hate him. Okay. Really? That totally made sense though. That totally made sense to me.
It's like
All
I
right.
want to go, but I want
wanna
to
go,
stay
but I
home, but I want to go, and it's like a mobile home would
so
be perfect for that.
so I can still go and still be home. Okay,
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
a good one. That's a good one.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank
he's
you,
full of
Captain. I'll
them.
be here all week.
He's full of it. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, that's good. So, now is mobile home your last and final investing venture in real estate, or is this just one segment, or do you still do multiple types of real estate investing?
Yeah, so basically, it's in my arsenal of real estate investing strategies. What I love about mobile homes is that they're mobile. So you're not tied to one location. So if I had a home in a community in a park and I found out a piece of land that I wanted to move the home to, then I could do that. And so basically, the next step in my strategy is to actually go out and find land and put mobile homes on top of that land, and then get the cash flow from there as an investor. And one of the park managers that I've known for years, he's actually been in the area for a long time. He knows a lot of the landowners. So we're actually going out and looking for land on a regular basis. But I just love that mobile homes and land, they kind of go hand in hand. And then that's the actually what sets mobile homes apart is that they can actually be moved. You can't really do that with a single family home or an apartment building.
Mm.
So
So, if you purchase a mobile home, like where do you store it until you're ready to move it onto the land?
you would actually have to have a location for that. So either you pay someone a fee, kind of like lot rent,
Mhm.
to use their land to have the home sit there, or you would have to negotiate with the seller, until I could find a place to put this, then I can't close on the home. So that's kind of one of the things that you have to negotiate with. A lot of people in these mobile home communities, basically they need to sell their homes because they want to go out and live out on land. So they work with the mobile home dealerships. Then the mobile home dealerships would call me, or the park manager would call me. I have a client. They need to sell this home because they want to buy a new home out on land that they're selling to them. And that's where me or a mobile home investor would come in. And I did want to mention, I buy all these homes for cash. So basically, there's no mortgage on these. Everything is coming to me as cash flow, and the lot rent for the home to sit on that land going to the park is actually the responsibility of the person buying the home from me. So basically, I am getting the cash flow from it. There's no mortgage on these homes that I have.
I was just about to ask that, is like, is the financing different or relatively the same when you want to finance a mobile home? Or are they, from what you say, you can get some for a couple $1,000s up to tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands.
Yes, the financing is not the easiest for a used mobile home. Obviously, that depends on your credit. So that's where if you are a cash buyer, you have the advantage, because a lot of these sellers, they want to sell right away because they want to just get into their new home that they're buying, or they could be, I need to leave because I need to take care of a loved one and I can't live here anymore. So basically, to wait on financing, if you're an investor, you come in, you have the cash, then you have the advantage. But there are options if you have a relationship with a small bank or a credit union. There are financing options available. Obviously, you'd have to talk to your banker, but local options do work as well too.
Yeah, I know a lot of credit unions
Yeah.
do offer mobile home financing, which is different than your traditional real estate investing because of the type of asset that it is, or liability that it is, whatever you want to call it or think about it. Right. So I'm thinking about if I go into a mobile home and there is someone that's selling the mobile home, or I put a mobile home in a park, then I can rent that out to someone that wants to live in there, and the rent is probably going to be cheaper than if it's someplace else. So that can build up cash flow, so then that you can purchase some other um, mobile homes in cash. Also thinking about, putting that money into getting land. And if you have the land and it's big enough, you can add a few high
Mhm.
end quality mobile homes there. Of course, there's got to be plumbing and all that stuff for the mobile homes and everything like that. But it's probably the same amount of work or whatever if it was a single family home and getting plumbing and all of that stuff. So I can definitely see the potential. Mark, did you have anything to add before we wrap up?
Yes. So, excuse me. So when it comes to these mobile homes, and you want to, you know, plant in a certain area, how does that work? As far as like you have to find a lot, and then you said pay like a lot rent or something like that, or can you get some land, or can you just pretty much post up wherever you feel like it?
Right. I mean, there's a couple different ways you can do it. I mean, you can work with a mobile home park, and that's what I do right now. I have several
Okay.
parks that I work with if they need a vacant lot filled. And a lot of times they are motivated to fill those lots. I've been around for a while, so they pay for my moving costs, they pay for my hookups, they gave me free lot rent until it's ready to get, be put on the market. Obviously, that comes with negotiations, but basically, you'd have to be on the hook with the lot rent until you can fill it with a new buyer or renter if you're
Okay.
on someone else's land. Now, if it's on your own land, I've seen, and it's funny because you think, oh, these are like sophisticated investors. Not really. A lot of actually, believe it or not, Mark, Kevin, and Tara, the a lot of people who actually buy land, they're actually contractors. They just
Hmm.
have all this cash and they're able to find a good deal, and then they just put a mobile home like one at a time, maybe every couple months they'll find a used mobile home, and then they'll just keep adding. I knew one contractor guy, and he's like, yeah, I'm up to five on my on my, I think he had like 5 or 6 or 7 acres, and he had up to 5 homes on there, and he just kept adding and adding and adding. And you buy these cheap, under $5,000, and then you rent them out, you're getting the cash flow. There's no mortgage on it or nothing.
Mm,
So
I like
it's a
that part.
very,
Yeah.
yeah. it,
So are double wides, are they still considered mobile homes?
Yes, and I will tell you, I specialize in single wides. If you go for the double wides, which are double the single wides, they're just wider, you will pay double the cost. So double the moving costs, double the plumbing, the hookups, all that. It's just a bigger home. That's why. So,
I got you.
So
I got you.
can I ask a scenario question before we wrap up? So here it is. Let's say you got a young person, just got a fresh new job. They're making a little money now. They're looking for their first apartment or first living quarters or whatever. Um, do you suggest they go for the new apartment, or how often would you suggest somebody striking out on their own, getting a mobile home or living in a mobile home?
sure, that's a good question. Honestly, it would depend on the person and their comfort level, but this is what I see what's happening with the mobile homes. I've actually bought homes because of this situation, because the young person does not want to live in that home. So basically, this is around universities where the parents would, rather than paying apartment fees to an apartment, which are sky high, they'd rather just buy a mobile home for cash, maybe from the dealership, or find somebody selling a mobile home, buy it for their son or their daughter while they attend college. They rent it out, and they save money in rent. But then the young person graduates. So, say it's the daughter or the son, and they don't want to live there. They don't want to live in the mobile home. They're not comfortable, or they maybe they got a job across the country. I end up buying those things. So honestly, to answer your question, it would really depend on on the person. I wouldn't suggest, oh yes, in all cases you should buy a mobile home because it's cheaper. It really depends what's important to that young person in terms of amenities, in terms of obviously their financial situation. But if they are just buying it strictly because it's less to pay in a mobile home, in a mobile home community, but then there are issues, they're not comfortable with the types of people who live there and all those kinds of factors, I wouldn't advise that. So it would really depend on the person and their goals and their comfort level.
Awesome. Well, Rachel, this has been very eye-opening. Got my wheels turning about how in 2023 I can look into mobile home investing. So how can people learn more about you, get to know you, and connect with you?
Sure, they can go to my website. It's really easy to remember. It's adventuresinmobilehomes.com. And on there, I have a podcast called Adventures in Mobile Homes, and they can listen to the podcast, read the blog. I also have a free training class that they can sign up for on my website at adventuresinmobilehomes.com. And of course, if they have any questions, they can let me know as well too. They can contact me there.
Awesome. And you are on all social media, or how are you?
Yes, I am on pretty much all social media at Mobile Home Girl with a U.
Mobile Home Girl with a U, GURL. Amazing. Thank you so much, Rachel, for coming on the podcast and helping us to financial fornicating with mobile homes. That's really awesome. I'm trying to figure out how I can do that in 2023. So I so appreciate that.
Sure thing. If y'all have any questions, you can contact me anytime.
Awesome. Thanks. Thank
All
you. I'll talk to you
right.
later.
All right. Pleasure.